Alright, so our next video is similar to adding, but now we're subtracting. We're still going to use 3 different colors and a pencil. For me, the black pen shows up better than the pencil, so that's what I'll be using for the video. But you want to use a pencil, so if you make a mistake, you can erase it. Okay, mathematicians, so we are now subtracting algebraic terms. Our first example is 1.8x minus 0.9x, and our second is 2/3 b minus 1/4 b. So I'm going to show you how to represent this with the bar model. Again, bar model for the practice as well, just like the last section. And when we move on to the next lesson, which will be lesson 9, we will probably start moving away from the bar model and more the traditional kind of way we add terms together. So let's start with the first one up here, 1.8x. So again, with the bar model, I want to make tenths because my fraction here is tenths, 8/10, 9/10, and they're both in tenths. So that's common. In order to do that, I'm going to have to draw out 18/10, which is going to be a little time consuming, so bear with me. You can certainly fast forward a little bit if you wish. So this is going to be 1, 2. All right, so there should be 18/10 there. And if we just count them up, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That represents 1p. I'm sorry, 1x. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That part represents 0.8x. And if I'm color coding, I should probably stick with that. So that's my 1.8 x. Now when I'm taking away something from x, right? I'm taking away here 0.9 from x, but really any number. Just like subtracting numbers, I'm going to stack them on top of each other. So I'm going to stack my bar models on top of each other. Here, right, I'm still in tenths, so let's stack on top a representation of 0.9x in tenths. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that would be 10. And I'm shading in 9 of those tenths, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that represents 9/10, or 0.9x. Now when subtracting, I'm taking those away. So really, you can kind of think of it as these are canceling each other out because I'm subtracting. I'm getting rid of a tenth every time. So what I have left is, if we pretend that all of these kind of get erased, how many tenths are left? Well, if we count them up, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We should have 9/10 remaining. So let's see, let's make that representation. So I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9/10 remaining. So 0.9x. So when I do that subtraction, I get 0.9x. For example 2, similar to our example when we were adding algebraic terms, we want to find the lowest common denominator for those fractions so we can create our bar models. So right here, we're going to just put in a star, find LCD, okay? In this case, the lowest common denominator, if you think of 2/3 and 1/4, well, multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And if it helps you, you can write those down. So 3, 6, 9, 12, right? And then multiples of 4, 4, 8, 12, right? And you wait until you see they have one in common. So they both have 12s in common. So my lowest common denominator is going to be 12. So let's change this so that they have equal denominators. So 2/3, how do I change 2/3 into 12ths? Well, in order to change the 3 into a 12th, I went 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I want to multiply the top and the bottom by 4. That means 2/3 B represents 8/12. Let's write that a little bit smaller. 8/12 B. And when I represent 1/4 as a 12th, I went 1, 2, 3 repetitions. So it's 4 times 3 and 1 times 3. So from that 12ths, I am subtracting 3/12 B. And now we can represent that with our bar models. So we're going to take B, which is going to be in 12 sections. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to be taking away 3/12 B. But to represent 8/12, let's draw or shade in 8 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8/12. And I'm going to be taking away 3/12. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there's another representation of B with 3 of those 12ths shaded in. Okay. Now, if I have 8/12 and I'm taking away 3/12, it's kind of like these canceling each other out. So I can kind of put a slash through them, like those cancel out, those cancel out, those cancel out. Now, how many 12ths do I have left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all that's remaining is 5/12. To represent that with a bar model, I can again separate them into 12ths. And say that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remaining. So 5/12 B. And that occurred when I took 8/12 and I subtracted 3/12. Okay, so again, just like with your practice, you can do this with a bar model here. Okay, I want you to use the bar model here, and then once you get to the textbook page, you're going to use whichever method you prefer. So on the left side, you're going to be doing 0.7y minus 0.4y, 1.2y minus 1y, 4/9 x minus 1/3 x, and finally 3/4 p minus 1/6 p. And remember to find the lowest common denominator for both of those. So again, you can use the bar model for these four. I want you to use the bar model so you practice this representation. And for the practice page that's in the textbook, you can use whichever representation you're more comfortable with. So finish these practice problems, show your teacher, and then you're ready to move on to the textbook problems.